All right, guys. Today we are at our fourth episode of Today's Warrior, and we have our racially diverse guest star.
Thank you for welcoming me.
John Terry.
Thank you, and good night.
Yeah. Actually, guys, John Terry is from Orlando, Florida area, and is part of our TRITAC-Jitsu Instructors Network. I think what 3 years we've been training together. Yeah. So we all know John very well, and he's actually we just had our instructors weekend in Milford, New York for TRITAC-Jitsu, and John has come down to the JSA in Connecticut after to hang out here for the next few days, talking about all the martial arts stuff to do, get some awesome training in, and which kind of leads us to the conversation today. Since John literally just opened up his school out in it's not Orlando, it's
in Claremont, so it's like southwest of Orlando. It's about 20 minutes from downtown. Basically.
Cool. So yeah, John just opened up school, and we're actually going to be kicking off a huge seminar at his school in February to do official big launch. But right now he's already got 8 to 10 students just opening up. So which leads us to the conversation today. We're kind of talking about business, entrepreneurship, opening a martial arts school, or starting a business in fitness, wherever it is that you might have passion for. And because a lot of us are all kind of from a wedding photographer to strength training, martial arts school, martial arts and internet geek shit. So we're kind of kick off on how maybe you guys can do it yourself, or get involved, or think about ways for to inspire people. Which, in my personal opinion, that owning your own business is a huge endeavor. And we're talking about being a warrior. We're talking about something that challenges you. Opening your own business, especially in Connecticut, in a fucking horrible, high tax. What the fuck is wrong with us thinking about opening a school in Connecticut?
I'm in Florida.
But all the trials and tribulations and rewards that go through it. I just celebrated 5 years at the JSA of opening, but but it was a big milestone, and everybody always says that 5 years opening your own school, you kind of start being successful around then. And I believe I was successful a lot quicker, but you definitely saw around the 5 years how things have reached their stride, especially when you compare back to, I was looking at some old pictures of what I went through the JSA in the beginning, how it is to now. It's like night and day. But I've had a lot of success, but also a lot of mistakes that I've gone through, and something that I've learned really quick when opening or running a business is that you can't be afraid to fail, that you're gonna make a shit ton of mistakes, and that the number one rule for my success, or I believe is success in general, is passion for it. You absolutely have to love what you do. I mean, if I was teaching fucking Zumba,
You don't like Zumba?
No, you look good. I want to see
you would look good in the pants.
I really want to your own ass if you were teaching Zumba.
I would love to see a Zumba class with you and Justin. Maybe you guys do a dual leadership. How does that? Yeah. But they do all that weird, the booty popping and stuff.
Yeah. If you don't have the pants, though, it doesn't. You gotta have them.
All right. I mean, we'll talk about Zumba later. But I was kind of curious what since we all kind of have gone through basically running our own business or starting a business, and we're working all together on a business. What it's kind of like going through it. So John, maybe start with you, because you just kind of kicked off. Like, what's your experience like going through right now? Like going from okay, I want to do something, to now, all right, it's actually happening.
It's honestly the details. The details seem you don't think about them. It's always these grand ideas like, oh, I want to do this, and I want to. It's all grandioso, and I want to have some of that. That's great, but how do you bring that to fruition? Like I was saying,
how do you go from step 0?
There's a lot of steps in between, beginning and superstar. So what do I think that first step? And that seemed to me that was my hardest. And thank God for resources like yourself and everyone here. If I have to ask a question, hey, how'd you do this? And really that's the biggest thing, redeeming quality I would say I found is asking questions. Don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
I always told Matt, I always preference everything by being passive aggressive, like, hey Matt, sorry to bother you, but you got this, you got that. It's not a good way to go about it, but I'm still gonna ask. I'm like, Matt, I still want this. Even though, I may be bugging you, but I'm gonna need it,
Well, you're two things I heard what you say there was, take those small little steps. But when you break it down, sometimes when you think about it, you have this huge idea. I want to go to school, I have a gym, I have mats, I have a place to train, and jiu-jitsu, and all this shit. You're like, it's all great, but how the fuck do I get there? You know what I mean? And for me, it was like that small little, I can't remember what the first, my small step was going on some sort of business realtor website and literally walking into this place. I know nothing yet. I knew I wanted to open a school. I had the resources, and calling up, making that call, walking in his door, and then that was my first little step. Then after that, things started shaking. But you have to take those small little steps. Right. And two is like having a support system. Because I think in the beginning I really had no one to look up to and no one to really guide me kind of through that process. And you look online or some shit, but it's not having someone a support system. But because if not, you make a lot of mistakes, which I did.
We have a lot of doubts too. I find we talked about that in the car coming from New York. You have a lot of doubts.
Yeah.
And even though you don't express them, but having that support takes away some of that doubt. Like having you, having John, the other schools around the country. It kind of reaffirms like, okay, yeah, I think this is the good. It's a good thing. It kind of affirms your beliefs, I guess, if you will. Better. So.
What about you, Sean? When you got going, how many years have you had?
I started I opened my first school. Well, my school, 1990.
That school you built for 1990?
Wow.
No, I was in.
It's 26 years.
Oh no, you were in the other. I remember your other place.
Yeah, and I was a place before that.
Okay.
So when you use the word passion, I mean I rented a 400 square foot place. It was like $300 a month. And I bought the mats and put them in there just because I wanted a place to train.
Yeah.
And then got a couple people. It's like, all right, and then all of a sudden, people just started flooding in. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then I expanded. It was like, all right. Then I went to like 1,500 square feet, and it was going good. And then then because of rent, and then people dropped off. It's this constant ebb and flow. And so it's like, all right, and then I ended up at the gymnastics place, and then that closed down, and now I ended up at
I love
my
your school.
location.
It's a beautiful school, though.
My school, this is.
It's a nice location.
I remember years ago driving around and be like, oh, that's a good place for dojo. That's a good place for dojo.
I still do it all the time.
And the last 4 years, like I've not even thought about that.
Yeah.
Like I show up there and I'm like,
I always say the other location.
Cool.
I can open location there.
Just so everyone knows, his school's in New Milford, Connecticut.
Yeah, sorry.
Milford, Connecticut. Yep.
Near Danbury.
TRITAC-Jitsu, New Milford, Connecticut.
So what? Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no.
Yeah. What I'll just say too is you kind of said an important thing because I didn't walk. I didn't just start walking. I didn't open up the school. First school did this place with no students or nothing. I shared place at a karate school, which is really small. Which just like you said, it was really kind of a place to train a little bit, doing a little bit of my own thing. Mm-hmm. And then students started coming, but you don't have to like. I think people get so scared when they think about maybe opening a school or opening a business is that they have to like start off like right off the bat, like this huge monstrosity.
That's big money.
And I don't know what you did, but I worked basically up until another job up until 3 years ago. I was doing double, and I know you still have side work that you do.
Yeah, at that time when I started, I was working 40-45 hours a week. And then I would leave there, and I'd go to, I'd go and do classes.
Yeah.
And
that's passion. Yeah.
And I wasn't looking to make money. I was just like, if I can cover the rent,
I said the
that's
same
good,
exact
man.
thing.
I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. No big deal. And then at some point you go, all right, it's like, oh, I got to pay the electric bill this month, or you going, everybody else is paying $50 a month, but I'm paying $300. That and showing up here every night to teach, something's not right there. Then you go, all right, then you gotta change your outlook on how you're gonna.
Yeah, you have to start treating your business as a business.
As a business.
Yeah, I mean
that's huge. That is.
It doesn't mean you have to devalue what you do or mask what you do. It's like you like some people have such a hard time with money and talking about money, and charging people money, and people come into your business, they know it is a business. When you start getting awkward and weird about charging and I don't know.
People pick up intuitively on the vibes and stuff.
Yeah. So if you're uncomfortable.
If you're uncomfortable, so even if you don't verbalize like that, they pick it up and they sense and stuff. But I think the most important thing here we're discussing today is the great system we have here at TRITAC of support.
Yeah.
That you guys went through it. It's hard for anyone to start a business, but when you're in our group, you get tons of support, advice, support, friendship, all that kind of stuff, and that's invaluable, especially in today's economy, because you could get crushed in 1 month.
Yeah.
1 or 2 months, you
It's
know.
over.
You know, you're riding high in April and you're shot down in May, you know?
Yep.
So that's what I love about this group
Well, to
here.
piggyback off your point is that's how I got going. I mean, I was training in my garage.
I was curious. What
Yeah, I was
was
gonna ask
the
you,
what was
yeah.
the thing that
Yeah, yeah.
that
My,
said,
my, my
I'm gonna
maturation
open-
process was
I'm
basically.
going to open my own place.
Yeah.
What
I
was
was
it?
like, I saw TRITAC.
Past experience.
Past experiences. Then we became TRITAC, and when I saw that, I was like, okay, wow, I want to do that. So it really became a personal journey at first. Personal journey turned to passion. Started training with some other people. They were like, hey, you're pretty good at training. You know, you know, explain things really well. You know, your personality's great. You know, you should think about going for it. So I was like, all right. Signed up. Met up with Matt, John Lebo, and those guys in New York. Simon, everybody's great. And excuse me. That's when it really started to click. Like, oh, okay, maybe I could do this. Maybe you know, these guys are gonna back me up. You know, and then all the takeaways Matt was giving, I was like, wow, this is all for the membership price. I get, you know, I mean, you guys, trust me, it's unbelievable what you're gonna get. You know, you come down here, they're gonna take care of you. So, and the takeaways are just amazing. I mean, websites, support, design. Where else you going for that? Nobody's doing that. You know, you go to a university, that's like a, you know, a degree basically. So I started off, you know, in my house. I had an open room. Had like maybe 1 or 2 people. It was kind of a study group. You know, we had the whole study group concept thing, and it just kind of started from there. But I was the one going to New York or going here to Connecticut and getting the training. So obviously I was the one kind of we hate the word figurehead, but I guess I was.
I mean,
you know,
there's nothing wrong being a figurehead. You are the leader.
I was the guy.
Yeah,
you know?
it was just meant to be. That's how it's supposed to be.
This is kind of, just how it turned out. And then I ended up training a really nice guy, gentleman, Dr. Paul Jakubowski. We'll give a shout out to him, Claremont, Florida.
Hey, Paul.
All right, Paul, awesome man. And he actually, you know, he was like an angel investor. I mean, he just was, you know, snatched out of the sky. He was like, hey, I love what you're doing. Our kids love it. We all love it.
We love angel investors. Any angel investors?
Sure.
They're great. They're definitely gifts. And you know, he believed in me, and that's huge. You know, when someone finally believes in you who really has no personal stake in the game, other than, hey, you know, I want to see you do well. You know, you don't find that often. You know, so he believed in me, got me a spot. You know, helped me out with some equipment stuff. And it just grew. Like now we're like 2 months in, and you know, his kids train. We have other colleagues of his train. People in the neighborhood are starting to know about us now, and we haven't even advertised. We haven't put out no advertisement, because I'm not officially, you know, commercialized. I mean, I have all the licensing and all that, but we haven't said, hey, here we are. We're just kind of doing our thing.
Right.
You know,
it's in steps.
Right. We're almost letting it bleed into the community. Like, you know, we don't want to.
Well, it's also showing that's kind of
oversaturated.
Yeah, you
You
know,
want to grow slow.
I want to grow slow. Yeah.
But it's also that's good because that's a hard thing right off the bat is getting a little bit of buzz, and you kind of got one already. I want to say really 2 things about that is, you know, John got really lucky, not lucky because he offered a great service, and John's very personable, and so he inspired someone to say, listen, they believe in John, and that can happen a lot. And a lot of people talk about. I want to bring it because I want to use this as a segue. Talking about getting your business started, because a lot of times people think there's this misconception that I need to go get a loan, I need to write this huge business plan, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Or I need to go find an investor. All those things are great and they can be very beneficial. But I started with no loan, no business investor, no nothing. You didn't know then, and you don't. And we're both successful in what we do. But you have to just start. You can grow it and let it happen organically, and you'd be surprised at what can happen. Now, if you decide you want to go big, you're like, no, I want to get a loan, or you've saved up some money, or you have, you know, parents, family, or friends who want to give you a little bit to get started. That's great, but I don't want people to think that it's an absolute necessity that they need to go find these people to happen. That's just because John is an amazing guy and he was able to have. No, I'm being serious. That no one's gonna walk up and say, hey. I heard you're opening a martial arts school. You know, no bullshit about, no nothing about soul fighters, or nothing about trying. Here's some money to do it. Like that shit doesn't fucking happen, dude. That happens because you inspire someone. You're like, wow, there's something about this guy, and that's what comes with that. I mean, it's like, you know, goes back to that passion. If you are someone,
that's
because you have to be a leader, right? You have to inspire people. on the mat and in fitness and in
boy.
business, like people want, they're buying you, they're subscribing to John, and they believe in John. That's why he wants. That's
well, one thing I can say is that you gotta live it. You just gotta live it. Like it's not a 9 to 5. It's not a punch in, punch out. You know, you wake up and go to sleep with it. I mean, all you guys do. I mean, I was here till 9:30 last night, and guys are still rolling, and we're conversating about techniques. And you gotta live this shit, man. If it's not in you, then it's like anything, just go get a 9 to 5 and go to work.
You're better off
because this is not for you.
TV,
yeah, just chill out or whatever.
But I mean, not everybody's meant, and I think a lot of people think, oh, I should do this for business. I can do that for business. Not everybody's meant to have their own business or is capable.
I agree with that.
I've heard so many fucking people tell me what to do. I should do this. I should do that. I should do this. Or if I have my business, I run it this way. I'm like,
And you asked for that advice, right?
nah. I'm like, if you know what the fuck you're doing so well, go and do it yourself.
Right.
Prove it.
Show me.
Yeah. I'm saying like, prove it to me. Oh, you can do this, this. Really? Prove it to me.
Show me.
We rarely talk about this one group, Defense Lab, which we were involved in before. There's this one guy, Greg, from Defense Lab, who's the CEO. And back when we were doing some things with him, I was talking about all the stuff that I could do. And he's like, all you Americans, you talk and you say, you always tell me what you can do, what you can do, what you can do, but no one ever does it. And I was like, shit, he's kind of right. What I mean? I think about the experience, like a lot of people tell me, I can do this, I can do this, I have this, I have this. And, I was like, well, fuck you, I can, and proved it to him and more.
Yeah.
But my point is not a lot, everybody's always got these great fucking ideas, like, I can do this, I can do this, I can do that, I'm like, all right, do it.
Yeah, show me.
Show me,
And I get that all the time, I get that all the time. It's hard to just step out on faith. It's hard to say, you know what, I'm going to detract from everybody that's telling me no, because everybody's going to tell you no, everybody's going to tell you you're doing something wrong. It just, you got to close that out. You got to close it out, Even like today when we were talking about your video, man, and I'm like, dude, don't even worry about what anybody thinks. Like, oh, I have a hard time. Fuck all that.
Yeah.
Just put it out there. Because what difference does it make? It doesn't matter because if you don't put it out there, you're no better off than when you didn't put it out there.
So to let you guys know, John is referencing a video because we're, through our Soul Fighters, everybody has, is involved, and Mr. Strongman over here, we've been working on this.
Easy.
And this dude has got,
So, we're working on this, Justin's working diligent on this amazing Warrior Strong program that allows people who have like minimum strength equipment to and have locations that might be martial arts school or even look for training themselves that allow them to train themselves and or offer training for their clients. Using solid programming, solid techniques,
really
and minimum equipment like sandbags, kettlebells, stones. What we're trying to get Justin to do is put out an awesome video explaining it so I don't have to butcher it right now. But we're talking about business and talking about people having passion and personality and subscribing to that person. And Justin's one of those guys when he's here. He's so passionate, so helpful, so engaging to all our clients, but he put him on camera, he's like,
this is how the program goes.
I'm not going to look at the camera.
I think it's very good.
Yeah. I'm like, fucking dude, talk. Hey, believe me.
That is not his personality. I've spent the last couple of days with Justin. He's got an electric personality, content, he knows exactly what the hell he's talking about. He knows how to convey it, it's just, I think it's that lens
damn camera. You can't look at it. Even here, I got 3 cameras. I got 3 cameras on it.
Make love to that camera.
That one, that was a 1
Pick
point.
one. You're a one camera kind of guy,
I think back to your point about like teamwork, there are gonna be people that aren't like a number one, aren't a CEO.
Yeah.
So you might have to, it's a lot of self-awareness too, to figure out if that is what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
If not, find a partner, find a team, be a part of a team. Instead of trying to be the guy, you're still going to get the same benefits of the
That's a
business.
great piece of
You know what I
advice.
mean?
Yeah.
More people need to adhere to that.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Not
that whole
everyone-
saying,
yeah.
stay in your lane. Like, know what your capabilities are. You know?
Yeah. Not everyone is a number one. So.
Well, the thing is, I agree with you. The thing is about our organization, Soul Fighters Academy, is we're so well-rounded in the martial arts. We have top people in all areas: Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, striking, you know, traditional jiu-jitsu, all that kind of stuff.
Combative jiu-jitsu.
Combative. But the thing is,
Yeah.
in addition to that, we have
Weapons-based combative.
weapons, but all the business part of it all, you know, worked out. And the thing is, as you see, we're generated by our passion more than our wallets. You know, like we do this, we love this. He's doing this, like that's how it is. So that's the kind of people we tend to attract. And you know, we're here to help.
Well, look at the eclectic group right here. If you just look at this forum of four right here, we probably couldn't be physically any more different. You know? But yet we're all like-minded up here. And that's the common thread.
That's what I'm like I couldn't imagine. Like every day I wake up and it's like I try to relax a little bit and like, you know, have a cup of coffee and chill. But then it's like I cannot wait to get upstairs to my computer to start working, and then I watch right before 9 o'clock, and I just like quickly get here. And then right away, again, I just want to get involved in it. And that's like my day, not because that's all I want to do.
That's why you never answer my calls?
Dude, I answer your fucking calls. You call me.
You have such a fucking attitude when I call you. I have a great idea for a video. I'm like, Matt, this is the video. We're going to go to the Empire State Building.
The fact that I answer your call, you are talking to me now. I am literally chilled out. I've eaten dinner. I'm sitting on my couch fondling my wife who I barely see.
Fondling her?
Fondling my wife. Well, probably some of that too. Thank God she's listening to this shit.
Watch this one, she'll watch it.
But I'm fondling and finally hanging out with my wife for like the last like 10 minutes a night, and the phone call rings. Dude, normally I would ignore that and not even like, what the fuck is this guy calling me now for? No. I answer, I listen to you, but I'm also like, I'm also shocked. So
I know. Don't be so sensitive.
Well, I'm not being sensitive. I want you to get offended and think, that I'm only here to take advantage of you. I'm actually.
That's been done a number of times.
I'm actually quite involved, and I listen and want, but there's times I'm lying in bed and I'm sleeping and you call. I'm about to go to sleep and you call. I'm like, I'll answer
Just because I work all fucking night, man.
Same with me. That's why I'm answering the phone. But I'm serious like that.
But that's how it is here.
Yeah.
My phone goes off at midnight. I know it's him texting me saying something.
Yeah.
That's like I wouldn't get up off the chair for anybody else, but I know that it's him, so I'm like,
you're fucking nuts, which is why I love you.
You're pointing to Justin right there, right?
No, you.
Oh, me. Oh, okay.
You are.
Text me.
Where was I the other day?
That's from your bed, by the way.
I was asleep by 9:30, 10 o'clock.
You like hung up on
I am here at 6:30 in the morning. I'm so early.
You gotta be
It goes ding, ding,
ding, right. And I was like, I know it's like, fucking Pete, I know, hold on. I was doing
Oh,
something.
you're the serial multixer. Okay.
I
got
No,
those-
what happens is he misspells it and then he has to
Oh,
redo
over
it.
it. Oh, it's the same message, just edited 4 times.
I'm like, Matt, I got gold here. I got gold on this video. It's amazing. He's like, okay, bye. See ya.
No.
Okay, Pete, I'll look at it tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good stuff.
No, I mean that is. I think that's that's a big thing. Is like that you've got to have that passion for it and be willing to like. Who was I talking about? I can't remember. It was like having like self-doubt, not believing in what you do. I think is gonna come up a lot, and you're always gonna question. And there's a book out there called The War of Art, not The Art of War.
I've listened to it like 4 times.
The War of Art, and it's a great book. I think one of those overall books you can listen to or read that help you kind of fight some of the like inner demons or those inner doubts and resistance.
Yep.
And then also about a great chapter or part of it about being a professional and having the professional mindset. And that's a word I think about a lot. Is like I'm a professional martial artist. I've devoted my career, my life, etc., to being a earning a living and being and choosing to have martial arts as my profession and all the things that go with that. That's how it's challenging to like get to that mindset. I think sometimes because you have to like you're new, you're questioning what you can or cannot do. But
I definitely struggle with that.
Now, with your interactions, with your business and everything you've done in the last 5 years, correct? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it'll be I think 7 years total,
7
with 5 years actually with this school's 5 years in May.
5 years,
so,
yeah. Okay. With all your interactions with that, like, how do you find, just when you're going from nothing and now you've got something, like was that just inertia? Like, once you just took the first couple of steps, it just kind of
it started happening. But then again, like
you know what I'm saying?
I'm always I feel like I feel just as hungry as I was the day I opened. and to now.
Okay.
And you almost say more like hungrier. Like now that I've had like, I see it fuels me even more. So all these little things that happen, whether we had that thing, the new guy signed up last night. It's just
that's
like,
cool.
but all that stuff like in the time.
I was happy for you actually. I was like, oh, that's a thrilling feeling.
It's funny
that's an exciting feeling.
I'm not being cocky. That happens all the time. Like that's a weekly thing for me. But every time it happens, I'm inspired by it.
Right.
It excites me, and
it humbles you more or less.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like I want, like, I'm happy. 'Cause I want to work with that guy or girl. I want to train them. I want them to love with it. I want them to get better. And I think I had this conversation way back here. Is that I want to help people, and it gives me another opportunity. So it's a very inspiring moment. Mm-hmm. So going back to that, things just always are inspire me. They always challenge me.
Is that what drives you in your day-to-day?
Yeah, I'm never happy. Like I always one thing that's my demon, and I think my gift is that I'm never happy where I am. I never look back and say, good. It's always like
it's done. It's
I'm ready now. And it goes back to like learning martial arts, right? Like if you're a martial artist, you ever say, I've learned enough.
No.
How?
No
You know what I mean? It's like,
talking
talking about injuries right now. I'm not training. Like I know I'm like losing opportunities to train. But so I guess it goes back to I'm never. Burp. Nope. There it is. All right. So
I have a part 2 to that question as well. And do you consider being a martial arts instructor or martial arts / instructor, business owner, a high profile position, low profile? Because I know some people, they get into things for the wrong reasons. So they want to be seen as the man. They want to be seen as a tough guy. They want to, whatever their perception is.
If you probably knew me beforehand, you would have, especially like my younger years, I was almost opposite of this. Meaning, I did not like. I've had a personality test. Like I'm a huge introvert. And so that doesn't mean that I'm shy.
Does not strike me at all. But.
No, but what it means is I need to and like to be alone. That beginning teaching classes, being around and being in front of people, were actually quite challenging to me. I had a hard time, like a lot of anxiety, because it was uncomfortable. Then it just became something I did, but I got involved in teaching martial arts because. Well, I come from a family teacher, so it's very natural. I like sharing, I like teaching, I like helping people. Mm-hmm. I think it's a big thing. I've always liked helping people. And I love martial arts. It was a natural progression, but I never wanted to be the man or in the spotlight. And I think I sometimes helps here because I don't think I walk around like the man. I think I walk around like half an idiot. And
no, but after spending 2 days here, you can definitely see that there is a constant underlay of respect for you. Like everybody, no matter what, even though we joke around, we kid around, but there's always that line that,
The structure is solid.
Right.
But I don't ask for that.
School is great.
No, no, you don't ask for it, but I think it's just
like
organically happens.
Are you okay? Like, I'm not like I don't like being looked at as a man. I don't like that feeling. I don't want that. I just like having a great environment. And people actually start treating me overly respectful. I'm like, stop. Sensei. Or I had this guy, the guy who signed up last night, Earl.
Okay.
Kept bowing to me at times. I'm like, dude, stop. I appreciate it, but stop. I don't need that. I don't want that. I'm like, Sensei. I'm like, I'm mad. If you want to call me Sensei, I'm okay with that. But like, I'm just mad. You know what I mean? It's just, it's. You don't need to give me that. I don't want it. I sure appreciate it, but it's like it's not like
necessary.
I don't want.
That's not why you're here.
That's not why you're here. I don't want it. So I think if you, especially you start playing the internet side of things too, like guys are like, oh my god, I'm like, dude, like you have no idea who I really am. Like you don't need to be weird about talking to me. It's just I'm just mad. I think if people are getting to martial arts, and sometimes you see this a lot of martial arts, people are like they want the black belt, the titles, the image, to have this false perception or false thing that they are the man. And I think if that's your objective, you're gonna miss it.
We used to have a saying in the executive protection field, we call it next to the man syndrome. And it was always those guys who wanted to be closest to the client, whether it was celebrity or corporate client, didn't matter. They just had to be close to the client so they could be seen as
the man.
The man. I made sure your car was there, and I knew the exact route that we were going, and I knew,
That's ego shit.
Yeah, it's ego. Like, just, you said something earlier, about somebody saying, they're great at something. You're like, I don't think it works that way.
Yeah.
What was the way?
Yeah, you can't if you have to tell people how great you are at something, you're not great at it.
Right, exactly.
When you're really good at something, other people will tell you.
People just recognize it. Yeah, you don't have to advertise.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought that was great. So.
And I guess that's like the ego. I guess is the thing about it. If you walk around and think I'm great, I'm awesome, I'm this, and then it comes out as like you're this.
You're a douche.
Yeah. And
because I think nobody cares.
yeah.
If people walk around going, I'm great, it's like,
Yeah, good for you.
Good for you.
nobody,
Right, yeah.
I don't care if you.
Well, he just took intrigue and turned it into disgust. Like somebody came in and was like, well, that looks interesting. And then they're like, oh, well, you're kind of a dick. So never mind.
I care much more about my clients than I do myself. And we were talking earlier about asking questions at the end of the night, how I try to engage my client. It's not because of, I don't know, I'm not looking for feedback to tell me how great. In fact, I say, don't tell me great class all the time. I want to hear more. Guys, if it sucks, if you didn't like something, fucking tell me. I mean, I want to know so I can make
Give
you
them
better.
a better experience.
Yeah, and especially when we were doing the TRITAC-Jitsu. We first launched it about a year or so ago here. I'm like, listen, I want your feedback. I need you to tell me these are my ideas, and I'm gonna start teaching you guys this way. Because one, I want you to be better, but tell me it sucks. It's not like, oh, TRITAC-Jitsu, Matt Bryers, great. No, it's actually opposite. Like, I believe I can make you better by offering this to you this way. Prove me wrong or prove me right, type of thing.
Right,
or help me help it,
Right.
Help
And
me
if
help
it
you.
does, well, that's what I say to my guys. If it doesn't make sense,
You were in my
if what I'm showing you doesn't make sense, then tell me.
Yeah.
Fill me in and give me that insight of why that doesn't.
Well, I think people
because
get
here
caught
it
up
makes
in that.
sense.
They get caught up in that. Oh, it was great. Because even when we go to the conferences in New York and what I mean. I'm not one to hold back my words. Because I feel like if I don't tell you, I'm not gonna get the product I'm looking for.
Right,
You're gonna give me, once again, we talked about your perception of it. No. I'm paying you for my perception. I need what I need out of it, not what you want to give me.
Like we were talking about that website portal stuff we put together. We put together a website portal for our students and instructors online to help them learn and develop themselves, etc. And John, others have said, John Terry, John Lebo, and others have said it was because my mind is fucking insane. I made this like oh yeah, and then it was great for me because I understood, but then everybody else looked at it, they're like, what the fuck?
We get the Scooby look, Shaggy.
So we had to restructure, and so don't be afraid to take criticism from others, and people get very caught up in let's say like you've got a business name or an idea or a concept or I don't know, whatever it is, like layout that you're so married to the idea and so married to this thing because it's your idea or your passion.
You're in love with your baby.
You're in love with your baby that you can't take criticism about it. Then you got to be able to take criticism, but don't let criticism overwhelm you either. You know what I mean? If someone just keeps telling you suck, all the naysayers out there, because you're gonna get naysayers, especially if you tell people you open up, my parents, and I don't think they want to listen. I don't know, maybe they do listen, but that they weren't. I think that they thought opening a martial arts school wasn't the smartest idea I ever done in my life.
Yeah.
But
it happened when I wanted to become a bodyguard. When I went to exec protection, people laughed at me. They were like, you watch too many movies, da 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 da. I did it for 20 years, and I worked for.
You did it because of Whitney Houston, right?
Honestly, that was part of it. Was that? I thought that's pretty fucking cool. Then I got out of the military, and I was always into martial arts. So I went to a couple schools. I did some research. And I was like, you get to shoot, you get to drive, you get to, some good training in there. I was like, I want to go try this shit. So I did it, and then that just kind of snowballed from there. And I got to work with some very high profile people.
Like who?
Oh, God, General Colin Powell, umpteen NBA players. I mean, just.
Well, I remember you. I was wanting you to say Powell because I think that's pretty cool.
That's a shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless plug. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, that's the one people gravitate towards.
Well, I mean, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty
Well, he's a cool guy. We really like him. So.
Yeah, it's great guy, and so that's I guess my takeaway. You guys take away nothing else from these videos, or definitely TRITAC-Jitsu. The whole Soul Fighters organization is awesome and amazing, but just fucking believe in yourself. That's like the biggest takeaway that I want anybody that comes into my circle. If you come into my circle, I need you to believe in yourself. I need you to be confident. I need you to be You know, that's why when I gave you that critique, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't to just hop on your performance. No, it was to make you better. Like, I want you to fucking believe in yourself so much that you go out there and you just, yeah, I'm gonna do that, dude. I'm gonna do that. You know what? You're right. I'm gonna change my inflection. I'm gonna fucking put more of my personality on camera. Why not?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
And that actually gave me confidence to do that.
Yeah.
You know, because I was very apprehensive about putting myself on camera and being seen as, you know, some bad guy or whatever. You know, and now I'm like, you know what? I really don't give a shit.
Yeah, a lot of people that's like afraid to put themselves out there. If you are that guy, you're that fucking guy no matter what. You're just gonna be that. But if you're not that guy, then you don't have to worry about being that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but of course, every now and then people look at you, especially in the martial arts world, with those old. Some people are weird in the martial arts world, you know, especially the guys who think they know what they're talking about. They really don't. You know, they're gonna give you that stupid shit and say stuff, but you let that stuff brush off. It's like,
There's also a difference between like constructive criticism, somebody that's trying to help you,
Where do you
and
keep
somebody
going?
who's just fucking talking shit for no reason.
And that's,
you know what I mean?
that you have to be able to discern. You have to be able to
to
discern
discern
that's
that.
when they're just
an
talking
idiot.
shit
Yeah,
or
successful.
they actually have a stake in my success.
You should be able to
Like,
tell the people that actually care about your success
Right.
and the people that are just either jealous of it or don't give a fuck about you.
Real
anyway.
genuine,
Yeah,
like, you know, dude, you look crazy, and, you know, they just want to talk shit about
Yeah,
you, you know,
exactly.
and that's only because they don't feel good about themselves.
Exactly, yeah.
That's the only reason they're going to do that. So once you realize that, you just overstep it.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know?
I think a lot of that, yeah. People will always give you that cocky, dickish attitude because they really have no confidence in themselves.
Zero.
And you can just read it, you can smell it on them. Like, all right, fine, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, just okay, move on.
Yeah.
For me, I have like a whole different perspective on all this because I almost died a couple years ago, and since having that experience and just surviving, I learned not to be afraid anymore of anything because nothing is really that important, and life is really short.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of things in general, in terms of people functioning in society, there's a fear of failure, a fear of how you're perceived. It's all ego-driven. Mm-hmm. And going through a really tough situation and coming out of it and being better than ever freed me from a lot of stuff. Even though I go back to it, but I have to like refresh my, myself and say, hey man, don't go down that road. It's not real. So for me, I would tell you, don't be afraid of anything because tomorrow could be your last day. It doesn't mean you have to like sell your house and invest everything you have. Just be smart about things. Do things in increments. Research.
Take small steps.
If you're
Yeah.
interested in something like this, contact Matt. Contact John. Just do things one step at a time.
Stop saying no to yourself.
Yeah,
know what I mean?
but don't be afraid because if you're on your deathbed or if you're in an ambulance and you might be dead in 20 minutes, you don't want to have regrets that I should have done this. I should have done that.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
It's too late.
Too late.
Well, you're saying
It's too late.
I forget the quote how it goes, but like you live and die with $0 in your pocket, something like that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's what you do in between. And if you're always so worried about making money or losing something financially, like you're never gonna. I don't know. Not all of us are gifted with like tons of amount of money to fucking have.
Listen,
But it's what you do. Hold on, I'm trying to finish on one point. I love you.
That's your grind, right?
No, it's not. I guess I don't give a fuck. I care about the money, but it's more the experience and doing it because I love it than actually like, am I going to be a multi-billionaire artist?
Right.
No.
Right.
But it's like it's more like if I had more money, I'd probably just train more.
Right.
It's just,
And if you had more time in the day, you would just do more what you already
I would
doing.
just, I would just do it. Like we don't have to do this all the time. We don't have to work. Like we'd have so much more fun just training. And like I would train, shoot videos of training, and do more training.
And do more fun
There's a-
stuff like
Yeah, yeah.
shooting arrows and shit.
And go shoot. Yeah,
There's a quote that I love by Gary Vaynerchuk for you guys that don't know. If you don't follow him on social media, follow him. It's not how much money you make, it's how you make your money.
Yeah, that's like that a lot.
I
Shit.
love that. It's
Yeah.
you gotta do something that you love to do. That's the way to do things. You know what I
And
mean?
that's
I mean, I feel.
If you go through life hating, you get up for work every day and you hate going, and you're gonna bring that shit home, and it's
But you're not
gonna
living.
affect the rest of
You're
your life.
surviving.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All you're doing is you are like putting. I see work trading hours for dollars, and then our modern society, all you're doing is filling up the bank account So when you die or are on your deathbed, there's a little bit of money that you can use to pay for your medical expenses,
Right.
and then die off.
And that's it. You die off. All that work you just saved
what?
up.
Yeah.
So you can die comfortably. You
You
know?
save some money to die. You die comfortably. I'm like,
That's crazy.
What's the fucking point of that?
I think, money should not be the god that you worship. I think it should just be a tool that you use, It's all it is, it's an energy. I mean, it's great to have it, and it's great to have more, but it's not...
But money's not really,
anyway.
it's not a quantifiable reason for existence. Time is really the only quantifiable, because you only get a finite amount of it.
Yeah.
It's like that movie with, I think Justin Timberlake was in it, where, that was like a great movie because I was like, wow, what else?
That's currency.
That's currency. Time is currency. And if you don't see it that way, you got the game fucked up. You don't see it that way.
Time is by far your most valuable.
Most valuable thing in the world, man. You can't get any more of it, and there's only a limited amount of it.
What does it say when I spend a lot of time with you? What does it say? What does that mean when I spend a lot of time with you?
That's a big check right there. That's a
I'll
big
take you
check.
under my wing, young man.
That's a big check. But that, honestly, that is true. Like, who you spend your time with really,
It's a reflection of who you are.
it's a reflection of who you are, and it tells you how rich you are. Hey.
But, when I went through my experience and, it was iffy, I basically had a heart attack, and I was in an ambulance.
Wow, dude.
I was thinking to myself, seriously, why did I work so hard? Did it make me richer? Yeah, I made more money, I had more headaches, blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't really conscious thought, it was like my soul, my body's like,
I know.
wake up. Why you just spend all this time and energy working nonstop, trying to please other people? Well, fuck everyone. I do a great job. I'm very conscientious. I love you. But you do the best you can, and if people don't like it, it's their thing.
Well, it's not your problem.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's not your problem.
You don't have to die for people. That's why I love training full time. I view myself as a professional athlete, even though I'm an old geezer. But in my mind, that's how
strong as a fucking ox. Trust me.
that's how I see myself. But that's who I want to be. That's how I want to spend my final years.
Yeah.
With my buddies, with my friends, training, making videos, doing what I love. Because then when I'm really on my deathbed, spend time with my family, my kids, all that, I could say, I was a good person. I had a good life. I was a rich man.
You're rich in love, man. You're rich in love, and that's and that's kind of like you sharing your story. You sharing your story, kind of that's why I'm the way I am. My mom, I was in the Navy, and my mom got breast cancer, and she had to have all these surgeries.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
We weren't sure what was going to happen, and she had started a business, and she worked herself to death. I mean, her and my uncle started a construction business. She worked crazy. I'm talking to midnight, sometimes pouring fucking concrete, which is not easy.
Yeah.
And and it just was insane. So when she got cancer, she just said, fuck everything. She literally said, fuck, I'm going to do what I want. My mom was definitely afraid of motorcycles. After that, she I might die tomorrow. Let's go for a fucking ride on motor. I mean, she wanted to do all of it. She wanted to live.
Yeah.
She was like, I want to live. And then she kind of ingrained that in me, make sure you live.
Yeah.
Fuck everything else. Hey, if you can't do anything about it, don't worry about it. Just, keep moving forward. That's the only thing that matters is keep moving forward.
Absolutely.
Because once you stop, that's it. That's it. Or she says it's not a rehearsal. That's for you, Mom, because she always says that. My mom always tells me that life is not a rehearsal.
In my opinion, she's spot on.
And that's kind of why I am the way I am.
Most people live like it is a dress rehearsal.
Oh man, I got time. Yeah, I can do this. When I get 70, I'm gonna,
Well,
go do it. No, you're not.
The thing is, in brutal honesty, I always said to myself, one day I'm going to do this, one day I'm going to do that, one day. And then when I was in an ambulance, and the guy said to me, we got to get you there as soon as we can. As soon as we can. I realized that one day might be over today.
Yeah.
There might not be a one day.
I missed my one day.
Yeah.
I missed my one day.
My one day was every day I woke up, and it kept saying it's going to be one day.
Yeah.
Today is your one day.
And that's why we're thankful for groups like this, just to kind of bring everything full circle. You guys, think I don't want everybody taken for granted the service you perform. I know you said you don't like all the praise and introverted, but aside from all that, don't ever take for granted what you guys have put together here. Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah. Trust me.
And it's just growing.
It's just growing. It's infectious, and even the people that I train with, they're just like, dude, the training's great, and that stuff's all fucking great, but it's the feeling I have when I walk out that door.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about. It's not like, you're gonna get some kick-ass training, you're gonna be able to defend yourself, you're gonna be able to do all this great, wonderful stuff. It's not what it's about. Trust me, it's not what it's about. What it's about is coming back the next day, going that hunger for more. How do I create more of this?
That's why I say martial arts are it's not just a physical training, and there's so much more to it. It's physical, the mental, and spiritual. It makes you a better person, and within that, it gives you power.
Yeah.
You know, power of self. Like I can, I will, and I am. You know, like it's like,
even better. I did.
I did.
When you
Yeah,
say I did. I mean,
Done.
that's fucking
Done.
That's you know,
Done is my
that's
favorite
rock
words.
hard right
Yeah.
there. You know, when you say I did, that's just like I fucking did this, man. Like, I mean, you gotta look around sometimes and be like, come on, you gotta. You know,
I do.
you gotta.
Listen, I walk in, like I said, like that's why I started work. I come here a little more often to work now. I used to spend almost all day at home, and come here at 4 or 5 o'clock to start like teaching classes. But because you guys were opening up earlier, but I was noticing I was getting here, I was kind of fried, like mentally, because maybe it was too much in front of the computer, too much, not enough inspiration. So I've been coming here a little earlier and still doing a ton of work, sitting on the couch. But I feel like the energy in this place.
Yeah.
I love being
Feel
here.
it. You feel
You
it.
gotta give yourself a pat on the back, back.
Yeah,
'Cause,
I'm not saying
you're in the forest and you don't see the forest because of the trees.
But I guess it doesn't take away the hunger to be better. And I think we've been talking a lot. So let's kind of
wrap it up.
Yeah, let's kind of close it like that. So I think right now, if you're gonna take anything takeaways from this, is that if you have passion for business, or if you have passion for something, you're saying I want to start a business, I could, or maybe one day I would. There's things I could recommend. One is you gotta break it down into small steps. You know what you have this vision. I'm a big note taker. Even if it's writing your own business plan, which you can. No, I have no relation to this company at all. But there's a service called liveplan.com that can really help you if you want to write a business plan. Do that. And business plans are not a necessity, but I believe they. I've written a bunch for my life, and I believe they help you structure a thought. If you don't do that, then start brainstorming using some notes. Evernote's a great application. I always write notes. And start kind of breaking those big ideas into small little chunks and seeing what you can do. And then don't be a little bitch. You know, like actually take a step towards what you want to do, and you'll be surprised. Once you start being successful at one small thing, even if it's just like contacting someone, reaching out and saying, I may be interested in that business, or like I want to open up a martial arts school, maybe talking to a gym and saying, hey, can I offer classes here? Like that one small step can just snowball, and you just never know what can happen, you know. And then trust yourself, believe in yourself, and just keep moving forward and have passion for it. I think that's my closing thoughts. I don't know if you have anything there, Kabas.
I would say, listen, do things for yourself and not to please or displease others.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid, because fear is all ego-based, and the ego is bullshit.
You gotta conquer that fear, baby.
You know, just don't be afraid. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fail. A lot of great people failed many times, and that's how you learn it. But that's how you build character. A true successful person is a person who keeps going, doesn't give up. But again, we have great support here at Soul Fighters Academy. I mean, we've been through it. It's all set up. Don't be afraid. Reach out to us. Contact us.
Yeah, I should have put a little
Go on your journey.
little message in there about what. So guys, some of you guys who know Soul Fighters Academy already, we are a network of martial arts systems that basically cover striking combatives, jiu-jitsu combatives, armed, weapons-based combatives, and sport-based Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Part of what we do is we train students both locally and online, but we also have an instructor and academy network, and instructor network for people like John and others who are looking to build themselves as a professional martial artist, so that eventually they either open their own school or they have the credentials to open their own school, their own business. We also work with academies like now John as well, who are now have a physical location, and they're looking for business, marketing, and and growth support. So we work with these businesses, work with these smaller groups of guys like John personally, to help them actually be successful through martial arts, because guys like myself, Sean, John Lebo, Mike Simon, Formiga have all own our own schools and have made a lot of mistakes, and have also been very successful. And through our experiences, we can easily help people like John and others in the organization become much more successful quicker. And have a great and easier experience, because they have a support system that I didn't have. I don't know if you had that in the beginning.
I had nothing.
Yeah, nothing. And we decided, fuck it, let's go.
I was like,
it didn't quit, it didn't give up.
Doing it. Yeah.
But now I think it would be I know the way I try to structure is like, okay, if I could rewind myself 5 to 7 years ago, what would I need as a business owner? What would I need from a training perspective? And that's what we're trying to put together now, so that they have the resources, the support system, the team, and the service to become successful. The only way I think you would not become successful is you just don't fucking do anything.
Right. You gotta do the work.
You gotta do the work. And
Hardest part is the first step.
Yeah.
Take that first step.
Yeah, and I'll leave my last thought. I swear to fucking God, my last thought is not a done for you business. It's not one of those things where you say, I pay money and then I get everything for free, or not everything for free, but I'm just gonna all of a sudden suddenly have a successful business.
It's not magic.
It's not magic, and I hate when people think. I had one of the older guys.
Effort, a lot of effort.
One of the other guys complained to me once. He's like, well, they should have done this, they should have done this. I thought I was going to receive that. I'm like, you're basically asking for everything done for you, and all you want to do is show up and teach classes. It doesn't work like that.
No.
But, yeah.
It's not McDonald's, you know?
You have to work.
Just pump out burgers and that doesn't work that way.
What about you, Justin? Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to really figure out what kind of person you are. Like like I said before, if you're not a number one, find somebody who is and partner. You really got to be self-aware about what your strengths and weaknesses are, and kind of partner with somebody. If you're not CEO material or whatever you think that is. Also, it's going to take a while. I think I don't know where I heard this quote, but it's a good one. I think people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. So you really gotta start with a big thing and then break it down to, say you got a 10-year plan, break it down to 5, then a 3, then 1, then monthly, weekly, daily. You gotta plan everything, small steps. Those small steps build, and you, like Matt said, you get that momentum going, and eventually, before you know it, you're at the end goal. You know what I mean? You're just the little steps, one after the other.
It doesn't become end goal, because then it's like,
well, you get to that end goal and then you have another goal. And you do the same thing. You break it down. Same thing.
Bricks make a house.
Yep, exactly. So you gotta plan for long term, and then break things down into small, manageable things, daily, weekly.